Hello and welcome to today's video. This is my December wrap up for December. Yeah, this is a chill, cozy one. I'm sat in front of the bookshelves, it's chill. I position myself so you can't see the Christmas tree behind me because like it's not Christmas anymore, but I haven't got the decorations away yet. I've actually moved the clock out of the way because that's Jay's very ugly alarm clock. But yeah, there's no surprise as to what I've read this month. Like, you can see them all here. I've just got them out. This is chill vibes, chill time. Hopefully you still enjoy. Yeah, so I ended up reading 7 books in December, which was a total of 3,777 pages, which I'm quite happy with. Not as many books as usual, but a lot of them were bigger than average, so yeah, I feel like it pretty much page wise evens out to an average month, so yeah, very happy with that. What I'm not happy with is in getting these out. I mean, I'll just show you book number 1. Like, I read this right at the start of December, and in finding this out to show for this video, I remembered I didn't complete my alphabet challenge last year. Yeah, the 2022 alphabet challenge, I was missing 1 letter and I was hoping I'd find time the last week of December. Didn't do it. Forgot about it. Didn't even try and do it. I completely forgot. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, I mean, except for that, we've had a good time, had a good reading month. I'm ready for the new year. I've already had some great reads this new year, so yeah, really just, we're going to go through these, we're going to quickly talk about them, but this is going to be a very fast video today. I'm not going to go into too much detail, I will tell you my general thoughts, but yeah, chill vibes, chill times. This is my December wrap up. So the first book I read in December was Zoo City. I ended up only giving it 2 stars, honestly. Like, I'm not too impressed or happy with it. This has been on my TBR for like probably the longest out of any book I own. I've owned this for many years, and I expected a lot of good things, and it was just very disappointing. Right now I can't remember exactly what was disappointing about it, but I feel like just like the general vibe, like it wasn't there. I can remember being let down by a lot of the reveals, and there were a lot of conveniences, and it just being a lot. Didn't really enjoy it, but I gave it 2 stars. Like, I can see why people would enjoy this if you're like super into like this type of story. It was like very urban fantasy, but it was very leave your brain at home, but also the things that were super interesting in the book. So for me, like in this book, like, is it criminals? Yeah, criminals have animal companions, but that's not explored, like that's not explained. Like, we don't know why, we don't know how, we don't know, like, yeah, we know that if you are like a criminal, a murderer, this animal companion appears. Like, that's all we know. And yeah, the parts that I found interesting just weren't explored further. They were just there as facts. So yeah, I mean, it was alright. I'm glad I read it, I'm glad it's off the list, but wasn't amazing. Then I read The Betrayals, and this was another 2-star. Yeah, so The Betrayals, this is my first Bridget Collins book, and I was umming and ahhing between this one and The Binding to be my first one for a while. Decided to go for this one. I think it fulfilled a prompt or something, not entirely sure, but yeah, I read this. It was alright. The audiobook was pretty decent for this. Like, I am glad that I read it using the audiobook. Again, this is one, it is historical fantasy. And with that fantasy, you expect there to be a real fantasy element. There wasn't really. There was this thing that was explained to us, and it was a component of a lot of things, and it sounded like it was visual when it happened. We never saw it happen. And the one time like there was a display of this thing, it was just very vaguely described, and that was that. Like, the fantasy element of the book wasn't actually on page in the book. It was basically just a historical fiction. Like, without the fantasy, they could have just had another like super advanced educational thing that only certain people can do, and it would have taken the place very easily. So yeah, just a bit disappointing. I was expecting more from it. It didn't give me a lot. And then towards the end there was a gimmick, like a twist put in there that I don't think should be used as like a gimmick. It didn't seem to be taken very seriously, and it just is a bit worrying. Obviously I can't say exactly what it is because of spoilers, but there is a reveal that I personally feel is like a Right, basically I don't know how to describe without spoiling, so I'm just not going to. But yeah, there was something in there that was used as a gimmick that I just really don't agree with. It wasn't explored in depth. It was just this reveal that happened. It was this thing, this haha. and it was used to the gimmick, and I just really did appreciate that. So yeah, 2 stars for this one. Then I was really struggling to read, and all I wanted to do was have audiobooks on, so I found some audiobooks on Scrib, and I ended up reading books 1, 2 and 3 of the From Blood and Ash series. There are more books in this series, I've only read these 3 currently. So we've got From Blood and Ash, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire and A Crown of Gilded Bones. From Blood and Ash, the first book, I gave 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good introduction to the world, really good introduction to the characters, and it left a lot of room by the end of it to explore even further and have even more things happening. There were a few things where I was like, a little convenient, but overall I just loved it, and I was just so sucked in and absorbed. I just wanted to keep reading. The second book, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, I ended up giving 3.5 stars. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one, and it felt very slow, and like this plot and this build up that we'd had in book 1, these reveals that we'd had and we thought we were going to explore further, we didn't explore till the very end of the book. A lot of it was just, it didn't feel dragged out, like, because I was enjoying it and I like the characters, but if you don't like the main characters it would probably feel very dragged out, I feel. Yeah, just not a lot happened in it and I didn't enjoy it as much. But then book 3, The Crown of Gilded Bones, 4 stars again. Really enjoyed, had a good time. I feel like I'm a bit disappointed that none of them have got a 5-star yet, because I have read 3 books within the series now, but I still feel like there's potential for a future book in the series to get 5 stars. Like, I still feel like there's potential if enough plot is put into a book that I would give it 5 stars. There's a lot going on in the books, but very little of it is actually plot, and a lot of it, so for instance there's something that happens in book 3 that is to do with the plot. We've learned a lot about it, it makes us advance forward in our knowledge of the world, but then it happens 3 times, and the second and third time we aren't learning anything more. Like, it's stuff that we as the reader already know, the character just hasn't figured out. So it's stuff like that. It just took a long time. It, yeah, dragged a little bit. But yeah, really enjoying it, and will definitely be continuing on with the series. Then I decided it was time to try and finish some series, as it was the end of the year, and I read The Secret Circle, The Temptation. This is book 6 of the Secret Circle series. This is basically a group of witches. Our main character, Cassie, start of book 1, is only just learning that she's a witch and learning what that means and what that can mean for others around her and meeting other witches. It was fine. It was fine. I gave it 3.5 stars. It was definitely better than some of the others in the series. It was a very nice ending to a series. Everything felt wrapped up. Everything felt like it was ended, it was finished. Like, I don't feel like I have any desire to go back and learn more about these characters or read any more in this world. Like, if more books in this world were published, like, I don't think I'd read them. Like, this feels very final to me, and for that, like, I'm really happy with it. I'm really glad that I did end up reading this, because I did consider not reading it because I hadn't enjoyed the last couple of books at all. But yeah, everything was wrapped up nicely. I don't think that this series like stands the test of time, basically. This one wasn't published that long ago. Book 6 was published in 2013. I think this one was published originally in 2013, so like, it's not that old, but this series started in like the 90s, so yeah, it just doesn't stand up, I don't think. Yeah, that's it basically. It doesn't compare to the sort of teen witchy, teen supernatural books that you can get now. It was very basic, very simple. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I finished it. It's not really one that I'd super recommend unless you're like really into like the TV show, or really into witches and just want to like read back. Like, yeah, it was fine. Glad I read it. That's that. And then the final book I managed to finish this month, which was quite surprising because I finished this like quite a while ago, to be honest, is Winter. I did think I'd finish more this month, but at the end of the month I was just halfway through multiple books and I wasn't going to finish them, so yeah. But yeah, I did read Winter. This is kind of the last book in the Lunar Chronicles. I feel like it's the last book, but there is a book of short stories that I haven't read yet. So like, on my completed series, it's not ticked off, even though this is technically like the last book, if that makes, hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, I loved this. It was so good. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was so close to being a 5-star, but there were just certain bits of it that I was like out of it, I guess, like out of the world. Like, I wasn't completely consumed by it the whole time, and I did find it very easy to like put down and leave it. So just for me personally, how I rate 5 stars, It didn't quite get there, but yeah, I love this. I love this world. I love the Lunar Chronicles. Every book like just expands on the previous so much, and it's great. I'm so glad I read it. I'm so glad I'm like pretty much caught up. I will read that one extra book soon. And yeah, like I don't have a lot to say. It's the 4th book in the series. It's the final book in the series, but I enjoyed following all the different characters that we followed in this one. I enjoyed how things ended. I do feel like it has ended in a way where in the future there could be more added to this world, and I would read it. Like I really do enjoy it, and yeah, very good. Definitely would recommend. So yeah, as I said, it's a quick one today. Those are all the books. That's everything I read. I had a good reading month. It just didn't go great. I feel like this month, well, the month of December, I read more books that were out of my comfort zone than normal. Some worked for me, some didn't, so it's not surprising that I don't feel amazing about the reading month. But yeah, I'm happy with the amount I read. I'm just not happy with how I personally found the quality of what I read. I don't want to be reading low rated books. I want, you know, if every book I read was a 4 or a 5 star, that would be amazing. Obviously it's not really going to happen, but yeah, there was just a little bit too much on the lower end of the ratings like scale for me this month. So I had a good time. Still really glad I read what I read. I had a good December. Like, I'm cozy, I'm good. The reason I'm cozy, by the way, is that I've literally got a blanket over me. The next video that I'm going to be filming, and the next video that you'll be seeing, is my like entire 2022 wrap up, where I need to get all the books out that I've read, look through them, take some pictures, and then get like all my graphs made and everything. So it's just going to be a big project. It's tomorrow's project now, but yeah, figured keep it nice and cozy for tonight, get this filmed. You're probably going to see this the same night it's been filmed, to be honest. Like, I'm planning on, once I finish the video, editing it, and then yeah, the next video you will see will be a massive project of all the books that I read in 2022 and giving you my stats, statistics, thoughts and feelings. So yeah, do subscribe down below if you'd like to see more content like this. Give the video a like if you liked it, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.